deal with the concepts such as HANA architecture, HANA evolution, how row store and column stored in on a database, when to use row store and when to use column store, uh, different architectures, 3-tier and 2-tier architectures, SAP NetWeaver 7.4 futures, and HANA specific software and hardware technology futures. And there are many concepts, technical concepts and innovations and HANA goals we have discussed in the previous session. In this session, we will go to into the system and see uh, how to add ABAP projects in Eclipse or ADT tools, and how we configure a system in ABAP in Eclipse. So, and introduction to HANA Studio. We'll deal with these things in this session. So before going to Eclipse and show you how to connect the system, I'll show you in SAP Logon the system which I have connected here. So this is an ECC system. So I right click and show the properties of this. So this is an ECC system. This is application server which I am going to remote IDs. So I'm logging into this ECC system and I will give my credentials to log into it. So this is my username and I am giving my credentials into it. So I will continue to log in into this. So and I will go to system and show the status for you. So in this system status, I can see this is the client 800 user which I logged in, and the host details can be shown here, and the database system under was MS SQL, and SAP system data is shown here. Here you can see a component tab. So in this component tab, when you click on this, you can see the software component versions installed in this ECC system. If you see this as SAP Basis and SAP Gateway FND, this is the component which is used for Gateway Foundation 7.40. So if you see this, this is the release 7.40 and the service pack 9, and all the other software components can be shown here on the installed product versions. You can see here by clicking on this tab, clicking on OK, clicking on OK. I will go open you any of the table. So here I will go for database table BUT000. So I will give this table and display this table for you. Here in this table, this is a transparent table. This is a business partner data table. The technical settings of this table, in general tab, general properties, you can find all the general properties like buffering and logical settings, logical storage types, and all the other things can be shown here. In the DB specific properties, you can see this BUT000 was stored in column store. If you see this BUT000 was stored in as a column store table. So that means that BUT000 is stored in SAP HANA database. So when you create any table in SAP NetWeaver 7.4 and above, there is an option to store type of the storage, whether it is a column store data or whether it is a row store data. So I'll go back. So now I will open a package for you. So this is the package which I will be using for this program for this ABAP programming for SAP HANA course. Now I will go through the Eclipse and show you how to connect um, ECC system in Eclipse. So in three ways you can connect Eclipse ABAP system to the Eclipse. Uh, through first is in three environments basically. First one was Eclipse is a basic environment. Another one was ADT, ABAP Development Tools. and third one was HANA Studio. In, if you use any of these three workbench environments, you will be able to add ABAP system and you can work on ABAP artifacts. So if it is Eclipse, you can go to tools.hana.ondemand.com. If you go to home, you can find which technology, which tools you are going to work. Suppose I am going to work on ABAP tools. I will click on ABAP. So in this ABAP, if you see the Eclipse environment supported for ABAP development tools was Neon 4.6 or MAS 4.5. So operating system supported and Mac version and Windows version is shown here. And Java runtime environment will be JRE version 1.7. GUI supported was SAP GUI Windows 7.40 and Apple and supported version is shown here. So here there are the steps to install the ADT. To install front-end component of ADT, you have to follow these steps. So you have to install Eclipse IDE for Java developers. So here you will be able to download Eclipse to the approximate compatible system. So OS, and then you will go to help and install new software. Now in the current scenario, I'm using HANA Studio. So in HANA Studio, I will be going to Windows, Help, and New Install Software as suggested from here. And I have to give the URL tools.hanadepend.com. So I will be giving this tools.hanadepend.com neon. So as soon as when I select and do this, so if you can see this, it's automatically given me from the internet to download this ABAP development tools for NetWeaver, HANA Cloud Platform, HANA Tools, UEFI development tools for HTML5. I can select all these things and click on next, so that I will be able to do ABAP artifacts. I will be able to do HANA artifacts. I will be able to do UEFI, SAP UEFI means front end development as well. I can do it in HANA Studio. So as of now, all of these things was installed in my system. So I will be not able to, I will not install this in this HANA Studio now. So where can I find whether these things are already installed in this HANA Studio or not? So I can go to help and I can go to installation details. In this installation details, if I go to installed software, I will be able to see what all the tools installed in my HANA Studio. If you see all the ABAP tools, all the BW tools, all the HANA related studio tools, HANA tools and UEFI tools was already installed in my HANA Studio. So you can see here installation history tab, you can see when I install this configuration settings can be seen here. All the features, all the plugins installed, all the configurations, everything I can see from this installation details. So now I will be closing this. So if you are using only Eclipse, if you follow these steps, then you will be able to install ABAP development tools and add the ABAP system. So now I will either way you can use ABAP development tools as well instead of HANA Studio. But ABAP development tools supports only ABAP artifacts. It doesn't allow you to add HANA and other tools to add to it. So now I will open HANA Studio. So I will open Windows Perspective, open Perspective as other. Here I am opening ABAP Perspective. So currently, if we can see this, this is already in ABAP Perspective. Suppose if I wanted to open Java E Perspective, I will click Java E Perspective and click on OK. So now if you can see this, it was in there, it was moved to Java E Perspective. That means that Eclipse has flexibility to uh, move into any of the perspectives like debug perspective. Suppose if I want again, if I wanted to move to ABAP perspective, when I click on this perspective, I will be able to go to ABAP perspective. And if you wanted to open any other perspective, there is two ways you can open perspective. From Windows you can open perspective, or else there is a icon here to open the perspective, from which you can open the perspective which you wanted to code. And then here I currently selected in HANA Studio a web perspective, and here I will right click and connect create a new project. The project will be a web project here. So I'll drill down to ABAP and select the ABAP project and click on next. So here I can see the ECC system which I have shown before is shown here. So I will select the ECC system. So here all the systems which you have configured in your SAP login will be shown in this system connection area. So when you click on next, so it will ask you for the system details. So you can give the client user and password. So I will provide the password to it and click on finish, so that I will be able to connect to ECC system to my HANA Studio or ADT. So when I expand this ECC system, you can see the favorite packages and system libraries. So system libraries are it gives to all the system all the specific packages which are present in this system. So predefined packages, if you can see. Suppose if I wanted to add any of the um, package to my uh, favorite package, I can right click on my favorite package and add package. So here if I wanted to add any of uh, package, I will be adding here JDAB underscore HANA is the package which I have shown you before. I will be adding this package to this. If you see this package is searched here. So I'm clicking on this and clicking on OK, so that it is added to the my favorite packages. I'll expand this favorite ABAP package so that I can see. So if you can see this, these are the programs present here. So if I expand my local objects here, I can see all the DDL sources like CDS views which I have created. So if I can drill down to system library as well. Suppose if I wanted to go to this package and see the source library and function groups here, and this is the function modules here. You can go to any of the function module and double click on this. So and then it will open for me uh, the function module here. So if you see, this function module is opened here. So I can the same way I can execute as well. So here if I wanted to open any of the package, I should use Control Shift A. So here then I can enter any of the artifact, like if I wanted to open any table like sbook suppose. So I will click on sbook, it will search again. So it will fetch me the results of sbook related. If you see, many things were there starting with sbook. So it is a database table. So when I click on database table and click on OK, it will open for me this table. So from here, from the Eclipse as well, I can see, I can display the data, and I can see the technical settings as well. Here, and there are views in this Eclipse. If you see the properties, suppose if I click on this constants, or if I click any of these here, it will show you whether which package it belongs to, which version it belongs to, and the description of these, and when it was created, who is responsible for this. All these things I can will be visible here. In Windows tab, in help, and you can in help tab in Windows, menu. In menu in Windows tab, you can go to show view. You can, if you wanted to open any of the view, you can click on here. And if I wanted to open debug suppose, and click on OK, it will open for me debug view for me. So in the same way, if I wanted to open any of the breakpoints suppose, so view other, suppose if I wanted to open breakpoints view, I'll select this and click on OK. it will open me a breakpoints view. So any of the view can be opened here. Here not only you can connect one of the system, if you wanted to connect any other system, so you can connect new project. And if you have any other system, like suppose if I have CRX system, suppose for example if I have CRX system, I can connect that CRX system as well. So Eclipse environment provide you to connect multiple systems anytime, and you can work at a time in different systems parallelly. So this is that is the advantage of benefits of Eclipse. So you can it will. And ADT also provides you better refractory functionalities, code completions, auto insertions, and other features as well. Some of the shortcuts uh, which you need to go through was Control Shift A. If you see open development object, Control F2 is used for checking the development object like syntax check. Control F3 is for activating development objects. So if you wanted to activate all inactive objects one at a time, you can go to Eclipse, and you can activate all the artifacts one at a time. Suppose if I open any of these, and if I wanted to activate one, I can use Control F3. If I wanted to activate all the inactive objects, I will be using Control Shift F3. Control space is for code completion. If you wanted to use pretty printer, you can use Control 1. And all the other F1 is used for documentation purpose. Suppose if I wanted to use some documentation, such as I will open any dictionary and any of the CDS view, suppose here, here I will open another CDS view. Suppose this annotation, suppose if I wanted to see some documentation, I will be clicking on F1. So I will click on here end user text. So this should navigate to the other features, other ABAP documentation. Suppose if you see here entry page, so right now it is not navigating, but generally it will navigate to ABAP help documentation as well. So F2 is for code element information. So these are some of the, if you wanted to see the list of the all keyboard shortcuts, then Control Shift L. So you can see all the keyboard shortcuts. So you can choose one of them. You can explore all the keyboard shortcuts. So if you wanted to navigate to any, suppose I click on this S book, and if I wanted to navigate, I will click on F3. Then it will navigate me to that table in Eclipse for me. So currently it is navigating for me. So if you can see here, it's navigating for me. So there are some of the other shortcuts, so which will open for me, taking so much time. I will currently cancel it. So if you can see here, it's already navigated. Yeah. So now I can, if you there is a debug perspective in ABAP as well. Suppose if I wanted to debug any of the ABAP program, suppose I will go to any of the ABAP program. Suppose I have one program here. So I will keep a breakpoint here saying this is double click. I just double clicked on here so that it will set a breakpoint for me. So if I wanted to have breakpoint again here, suppose I will double click on this line and breakpoint. If you see in the breakpoints tab, the breakpoints are already set. So now what I should do was I have to execute this. So I can execute from here. So if you see run as a web application F8, or otherwise I can click on F8. As soon as when I click on F8, so debugger cannot be launched because application host is not reachable for this machine. So when I click on OK, so as of now, debug session was not able to open now. So generally, see here, I'm trying to open debug perspective here. So generally, debug perspective opens here. I will try to connect from the project explorer here fastly. So from the ADT, might be from here I will be able to open the debug perspective. So I will browse and I will give the ECC connection and give the client username username finish. So I'm connecting the system here. So here I will try to open the same report dictionary. I will open the package Control Shift A chat app underscore HANA. So I will from this I will be able to get the package information. So I will select the package again firstly, and then I will open add that package ABAP HANA. Add this. I will be opening here programs, open SQL. So the browser is same. So now it is open. I will try to keep a breakpoint here. I'm selecting on the line and keeping the breakpoint here and clicking on F8. So clicking on F8. So debugger cannot be launched because application host is not reachable from this machine. Maybe some problem in opening the debugger perspective. So generally debug session opens, then you will be able to see three perspectives here. So I will go back to HANA Studio here again. So in HANA Studio, so you will be able to have about development tool editors, and you will to connect a web system here, and it's same as Eclipse look and feel. So now actually ABAP debugger is used mainly for troubleshooting purpose. So I will try again from my perspective. I will run as debug perspective. Debug. You see here there is some note, means that there is some problem with server host. That's why I'm not able to open this. Okay. So that is about ABAP in Eclipse. So ABAP development tools. Now I will switch on to HANA Studio. So HANA Studio. So I connected to a remote system. So if you see here, so in the next sessions, I will be showing you how to connect introduction to HANA Studio. So here, if you see introduction to HANA Studio, I will be showing in a next video. Thank you.